Welcome to Boss Your Brain and Business Show. In this episode, we're going to talk about when you think about quitting. If you feel or you think about quitting, this episode is for you. We're about to have a heart to heart. We're about to have a talk to talk. But most importantly, I'm going to empower you to become the boss of your brain. So, when we think about quitting, the battle is not with the undesirable circumstances. It is actually a battle with our thoughts. And so, learning about what's taking place in your brain when you think or you feel like quitting is important. Okay. And it's going to empower you to become the boss of your brain. Hello, I am Coach Kim. I'm a certified life and business mindset coach for brilliant Christian coaches and entrepreneurs. And I simply help them make more money, have more impact in their lives, in their businesses using two powerful things they already possess, their thoughts and beliefs. And I cannot wait to jump into this with you. It is my prayer that you leave this call so empowered to make a decision for your future. All right, we're going to get started. All right, let's get into this. So, if you're thinking or feeling like quitting, pull up a chair. Don't go anywhere. You're about to make a very important decision. So, you want to make sure that you have made this decision from an empowering place. Now, let's face it, many times when we are thinking or feeling like quitting, we don't have very powerful emotions with those thoughts. Sometimes we do now. Sometimes we do. Let's just talk about it. I'm quitting. Yay. Right? And so if you are the person rejoicing that you're quitting, this episode is not for you. Okay. But there might come a time where you are like, I'm quitting. Right. And you feel down. Right. You feel sad about it. You feel defeat. Then this is for you. Or if you ever are ever going to experience that, just this is for you. Okay. So this is for the person that's thinking about they're thinking about quitting, but it's accompanied with defeat. It is not like, I'm so excited. Okay. We want to make that distinction because not all thoughts create the same emotions and feelings. Okay. So important that we know that. All right. So if you are thinking about quitting, you likely may have thoughts that sound like things aren't changing, right? Like, when will this ever change? I'm doing all that I know to do. I'm showing up and nothing's changing, right? Or you might be having the thought that I'm not seeing the results I need, right? Like, I need to see results and I'm not seeing it. So, you know what? I'm going to quit. Now, here's the thing. There is not a shortage of content out here to help you with encouraging you and giving you the reasons and showing you other stories of people who hung on and they persevered and they didn't quit, and helping you look at reasons why and helping you maybe try to change your circumstances to get you to hang on. This is not this episode. You can find plenty of that out there to help you change circumstances. I work with your brain, with your mind, which is where your power is. And so we may be thinking, right? Or you may be thinking that you want to quit because things aren't changing, or I'm not getting the results I want to. Those things are outside of you. It's outside of you, and your power is inside of you. Right. And so it's like, well, that thing outside of me that isn't changing, that isn't showing up how I want, has power over me to make a decision. And that's not how I roll. That's not how I teach. So we're going to get all up into your power. Okay. So if you're looking for someone to give you the outside of you solutions, that's good. Sometimes we need that. But maybe you want to be able to have permanent change. And here's the thing. What I'm going to share with you today, it's going to boss you up. Let's just talk about that. It's going to boss your brain up. You're going to be like, I am the boss overall. Oh, okay. But it's not just going to boss you up for now, for this decision now, right? That's on the table about quitting, but it's going to boss you up for the rest of your life. For every other situation you find yourself in where you want to tap out, it's going to empower you for then. So I'm going for the long game, right? I've already told you, if you familiar with this channel, you roll with this channel, you know I'm about the long game. And so this is going to boss you up for your life. Okay? Are you ready for this? We're not dealing surface level here, but you're making a decision to quit. To quit on what? To quit on a dream? Quit on yourself? Because here's the thing, that dream is not just about you. That dream is about others. That dream is about the next generation. So when we think about quitting, it's a big deal. Now, you can make the decision, but I want you to make it from an empowering place. Therefore, I cannot be on the surface level with the circumstances. That's somebody else's YouTube video. But here, your girl's going to help you boss your brain. Okay, you ready? Let's go. I want to start with this quote by Epictetus. Epictetus. Okay, so men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. So we think it's something outside of us that's frustrating, right? It's not changing. It's not lining up fast enough. I'm not getting the result fast of us, but men aren't disturbed by things. Okay. Circumstances are things, results are things, but by the view which they take of them. So we know that to be our thoughts. And so where we're going to start with this is we're going to give you this breakdown, right, as much as you need regarding what's going on in your brain. Okay. Now, I'm speaking to coaches that have their own business, entrepreneurs that have their own business. This is not for the weak, right? It's not for the faint. This is a race that you're in. It's not a battle. Okay. We first got to get that understanding. This assignment that God is giving you is a race. It's not a battle. Battle is already won. Okay. But this is a race. So this is your assignment. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you know about your brain, right? Because it's your place of frustration and it's also your place of power. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? You don't have to look far for what's the problem and where's the solution, right? It's your brain. And so you have to understand that your brain has an outdated algorithm. Okay. Can we get into this? This outdated algorithm of your brain. And so your brain has 3 primary motivations. If you don't know them, it's going to be very hard to be the boss of your brain. So these 3 primary motivations are to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. Okay, that's brain 101. You have to know that that's your brain's motivations. Those are the top 3 motivations of your brain. It's going to gravitate towards pleasure. It's going to avoid pain, and it's going to conserve energy, aka lazy, don't like doing anything, expending the minimal energy possible to get the job done, right? That's your brain. Okay, and so since this is our brain, and we know entrepreneurship or building our own economy, which is what you're doing, right? When you're becoming an entrepreneur, that those motivations, they don't work. They don't align. So you actually have to update your brain's algorithm intentionally. So instead of seeking pleasure, you're going to have to seek growth. Okay. Instead of avoiding pain, you're going to have to embrace discomfort. And instead of conserving energy, you're going to have to expend massive effort wisely. Okay. We talk about taking massive action in our programs, and massive action is not action. It's not what you do, it's behavior. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of showing up for what you want. Right? Have you ever had a time where you were in massive action where you were not going to be denied whatsoever, right? It wasn't in the hustle, but it was in your thoughts. Okay. So you have to update your brain that as an entrepreneur in business, I have to seek growth. I have to embrace discomfort, and I have to expend massive effort wisely. So you have to override your brain's outdated algorithm. You have to be intentional in creating this emotion. You have to create it yourself within, right? Growth is not something that just comes to us naturally, right? I tell my clients all the time, run towards the growth, right? We like want to stay in the comfort zone. But I'm like, I need you to be like the superheroes. If you ever watch the superhero movies or even in real life, right? I want you to think about the people, and then you have the superheroes, or we'll say police, right? I like to say superheroes, but we have those that are here and called to serve and protect. If something happens, right? It's screaming, it's a loud noise, it's a bang, it's a boom. What are the people doing? The people running away. Why? Because of the brain's motivation. Avoid pain right now. Danger, threat, move your feet, duck, hide, whatever. What are the superheroes doing? What are the people called to serve and protect? What are they doing? They run towards the danger. They run towards the threat, right? Just turn on any superhero movie. You will see the people running that way and the superhero running that way trying to get the bad guy. They have to run towards it. And so we as well, we have to say, oh, that's where my growth is. That's where I'm not showing up. And I have to run that way. I have to run into the discomfort. So this is important in bossing your brain to understand your brain's motivations. Because when you're thinking about quitting, there is a part of your brain that is activated, and it is being the boss. And that's the lower part of your brain. So if we can look at your brain, there's several different ways to look at your brain, but we're going to look at it as lower brain, higher brain. So this lower brain, right, is going to be your primal brain. It's going to be this brain that we've inherited, that we have just received, right? But our prefrontal cortex, our higher thinking, executive thinking, right, that becomes fully developed in our 20s, right, in our early 20s. And so this brain, our thinking brain, that we get to make decisions, that we get to plan, that we get to override, right, this primal brain, the one that is looking out for the danger, the one that's conserving their energy, the one that's acting on impulses, the one that's just scanning the environment, just looking for danger, making decisions just based upon that, making decisions based upon what it sees outside of itself. That's what goes on in your lower brain, right? Specifically in the limbic system, specifically in the amygdala. It is scanning. It's doing like a core evaluation scanning of your surroundings and the senses and what's going on. And it's making decisions based upon that. It's not making decisions based upon your call, your assignment, the word of God, your future. It's making decisions on, this is what I see in the natural. This is how we feel. This is not good. You haven't been able to pay your bills. You haven't been able to make this work. Peace out. This is dangerous. And so that's your lower brain. So when you're thinking about quitting, it's important that you are aware, which part of my brain is activating here. Is it my lower brain or is it my higher brain? Okay. All right. We're going to come back to that in a minute. I want to talk about first how our brains have been conditioned for quitting. Okay. As you can see with the motivations, seek pleasure, avoid pain, and conserve energy. We literally have been conditioned to quit. Yeah, this is too hard. I'm out. This is too much work. I'm out. This is not fun. I'm out. Right? So we actually have been conditioned for quitting. So nothing's gone wrong. Here's the thing. If you're thinking or you feel like quitting, you are not alone. Like every human being is experiencing this, has experienced this. Why? Because we all have a human brain. So this is what's important to understand, that quitting is learned. We learn this. Okay? And since quitting is something that's learned, it's something that can be unlearned. You can unlearn it. Okay. So we help to empower you today with this information. All right. So quitting is an action. This is how we look at this in the brain world. It is an action, and all actions are driven by an emotion. Okay. Got to know that, brain boss. You got to know that every action is driven by an emotion. Even for those of you that are A-type personalities and you don't Think about your emotions. Your emotions drive what you do. Determination, commitment, certainty, confidence. You wouldn't put your finger on it because you're not feely, but you got emotions driving your actions. Okay? So, with that, knowing that quitting is an action and emotions drive that, we must look at the feelings. We must look at the feelings making you consider quitting. They are the problem. Here's the thing, that you're not getting the result is not a problem. Where does it say you are supposed to do this thing and get this result? Where is that? Sometimes we're so entitled to results and we have to release that. We have to release, I should be further along. This shouldn't be happening to me. You can never win an argument against should. Why? Because should is something that happened, right? Should. You cannot win against should. And so we have to look at the emotions driving this quitting, right? You wanting to quit. So here's the thing. We haven't been taught to feel. We have been conditioned, especially by media, to escape our emotions. And they're not the same thing. Okay? They're not the same thing. Okay? So, our social conditioning, our media has taught us to escape emotions because we haven't been taught how to feel them. There's nothing wrong. Like, God made you with emotions. He came up to Cain in Genesis 4 and said, hey, why are you angry? He didn't say, you shouldn't be angry, Cain. Bad boy. No. Let's talk about this. Why are you angry? Right? Like, he didn't shame him for having emotions. And so, as I say, our feelings are meant to be felt, not fixed. But we have been taught to fix them. And if you don't understand this, it's going to be so hard to manage your brain because you're going to feel the discomfort because of your brain scanning, looking. I don't see a result for all that I've done. And your brain is like, this feels bad. And if you haven't learned about these emotions and what they do in your brain, you will think something is wrong. You will think discomfort is a bad thing. And we just saw when you update your brain's algorithm, discomfort is a good thing. Oh, wait a minute. If I'm seeking discomfort, then I'm doing it right. If I am avoiding pain, which most of the times when we're considering quitting, we are avoiding the pain. We're avoiding, most of all, the emotional pain. The emotional pain of defeat, the emotional pain of failure, the emotional pain of confusion, whatever. Okay, so this is important to see that we've actually learned quitting. It's been given to us subconsciously. Okay, we've been taught to escape our emotions. So when things feel uncomfortable, media has a solution for you. Oh, you need to feel good. You need to feel better. Go do this. Go buy this. It's not just enough for you to feel better, but you also got to buy when you feel good, right? You got to top off the emotions, right? And so it's important to understand that we just haven't been taught how to feel. You could literally feel an emotion in your body, which is a charge in your body, and it can leave your body in 90 seconds. The reason it does it is because we resist the emotion being there. And you don't have to resist emotions being there. They're supposed to be there. Why are they supposed to be there? Not because God created you with feelings, but because thoughts create feelings. So every time you think, there is an emotion. There's an emotional component attached to every thought. So you're supposed to be feeling. If you're thinking something sad, guess what? You're supposed to feel sad. So don't go fix the sad feeling. That's the wrong place to be focused. Don't go try to escape that. That's the wrong place to be focused. It's supposed to be there. If you are an entrepreneur and you feel discomfort, it is supposed to be there. Okay, so we've learned quitting only because we haven't been taught how to feel our emotions. We've been taught how to escape our emotions. I want to talk briefly about discomfort now, comfort later, or comfort now or discomfort later, right? So this is what we teach in our programs. So if you embrace discomfort now, you'll have comfort later. Or if you embrace comfort now, you'll have discomfort later, right? And we can see this as far as our nutrition or our health is concerned, right? And so remember, the brain's primary motivation, it is to avoid pain. So what does it want? It really wants the comfort. It wants to stay in the comfort zone. But if you embrace that, you will have discomfort later. Why? Because your dream, you didn't do the things required for the dream. And discomfort is the doorway to your dream. So you actually have to be intentional to let the discomfort be there and to press into it, knowing that it's temporary. And if you have discomfort now, you will have comfort later. Like temporary discomfort, it will be there temporarily and you will have comfort later. But if you want comfort now, you will have discomfort later. All right. All right. We're going to wrap this up. But I just want you to see here, like what's going on in your brain. Nothing's gone wrong. Nothing's gone wrong. Now, this is what I want you to think about. What quitting feels like in your brain. When you quit, right? Because, right, there is this discomfort that's there. Okay, there's another point I need to make here. This is very important. But let me finish this thought. Quitting feels like relief in your brain. Okay? Quitting feels like relief in your brain. So when you quit, because there was discomfort as you were pursuing the dream, when you take that action of quitting, your brain is like, oh, great. Because that was a lot, right? Like you was like working us, girl. You know we like to seek pleasure and avoid danger. So you had us in this uncomfortable place showing up for the dream. And when you quit, your brain experiences relief. And that is what you're seeking. It's important to see what you really want is relief, and quitting will give your brain that relief. But I want you to also see where are going to be the byproducts, what are going to be the consequences or the results of quitting. You're going to have relief inside, but what's going to happen? What's going to be the impact? What's going to be the fruit? You will have the relief that you sought because now you're no longer in that uncomfortable state. You gave your brain what it wanted, and it wanted the relief. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to share, actually I wanted to share this earlier, but it's important to understand that your beliefs and your reality, they tend to be reflective of each other. Okay. So everything you see in your world is evidence of what you believe. Okay. So your beliefs and your reality, they're reflective of each other. Okay. So nothing's gone wrong. Okay. Nothing's gone wrong. When you enter into a state of active change, which you are as an entrepreneur, you're showing up for your dreams every day, believing that people want what you have to offer, showing up, selling to strangers on the internet, right? Like you're entering a state of active change. So what's going to happen in your brain? You're believing something different than your surrounding for a moment. Okay, please don't miss this. This is huge. Okay, so your beliefs and reality, they're reflective of each other. And when they are, your brain is like smooth sailing. Oh, all things is good. We don't believe in this. And guess what? Our world reflects it. Oh, we believe in this and what? Our world reflects it. Your brain is really here to serve you, boss. It's going to confirm what you believe. It's going to set it up. It's going to highlight things. I mean, it is serving you. So your beliefs and your reality, right? This is how they are. When you become an entrepreneur, it's like, I I need to believe something different now. I need to believe, man, I can be a millionaire. I need to believe, man, that I can create my own schedule. I can believe that I want to work from anywhere. And here's your reality saying, huh? What? What? No, we've been like working 9 to 5. So there is this tension that you have intentionally created with belief and reality. Please see this. Nothing's gone wrong that you want to quit. Your brain is just like, what you doing? You rocking the boat. So there is this tension now between belief and reality. And you have to know that this is where the battle is in your brain. And so what's going to happen is if you haven't been trained by the best of the best in brain bossery, might be me. I made that up too. I talked to my community last week. I'm like, you know what? All y'all get PhDs in brain bossery. I just made up a field of study, brain bossery. So if you haven't, received your PhD in brain bossery from yours truly, you won't know how to manage this tension between belief and reality. And you'll make it mean something is wrong, that my reality isn't matching up with what I'm believing. But I'm here to tell you nothing's wrong, that they aren't matching. Everything's right. So you have your belief, you have your reality. Guess what's in this space between? The bridge of discomfort. You got to walk it. Right? And the discomfort is in your brain only. Sometimes we think it's outside and the things we got to do, and I got to start selling, I got to start marketing. It's not even in that. It's in what you're thinking about that. Remember, men aren't disturbed by things, but by their view of them. Okay. I know I gave y'all a lot today. You know what? I'm going to give you an honorary PhD in brain bossery if you got to this part in the video, because you're probably like, what? And I didn't even get into the hierarchy of the brain and other things. I wanted to talk more about lower and higher, but subscribe to the channel, do all that. Here, let's give you a little graphic there. Subscribe to the channel, right? You're going to learn more about brain bossery. But if you're quitting, right? If you're thinking of quitting, I just want you to take courage that nothing's gone wrong. The way God has brilliantly designed you is working actually for your good. You knowing what's going on with your belief and your realities when you want to become an entrepreneur is so important. And so if you don't manage this middle space, navigate between changing your beliefs, but your reality still hasn't caught up yet. If you don't manage that space, the discomfort will be so great that your brain say, you're going to have to change one of these. One of these is going to have to change to match the other because we just don't like this tension. And so what do? That reality hasn't changed. So we're going to take the belief and we're going to let it match, right? We're going to go back to believing how we used to believe because it was just too much tension to hold the new beliefs that I can be a millionaire. I can be my own boss. I can create time freedom. I can create financial independence. Okay. All right. That's what we have for you today. Be encouraged if you're thinking about quitting. There's no shame in it, but I want you to make the decision from an empowering place and make it from being the boss of your brain. I prayed a very bold prayer now. It's been about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And I was tired of living under my circumstances. And I prayed to God. I said, God, teach me how to live above my circumstances. I don't want the circumstances dictating to me. I wanted to quit several times. And I don't want the circumstances to continue dictating to me that you can't have that. Right? You're not cut out for that. You're not good enough for that. Didn't work for you. You're a failure. I didn't want my circumstances to continue to have the microphone to tell me what I can and cannot do, to have my pen to write my story anymore. So I asked God, I said, teach me how to live above the circumstances because I knew it was possible. We are raised and seated in heavenly places with Christ Jesus. You have to know that. In order to be the boss of your brain, you got to know the hierarchy. And the hierarchy is that your brain is under the lordship of Jesus Christ and it's under your spirit. So what happened next was so beautiful. God began to teach me how to become the boss of my brain. He put me in his curriculum, his school of the Holy Spirit, and he taught me how the brain works. I'm still learning. He taught me exactly what circumstances are, how they have no power. How is your thoughts about the circumstances that create all of your results? He taught me this from that prayer. Teach me how to live above my circumstances. And I've had to walk it out. I've had to walk out living above my circumstances. So we want to give you that opportunity. I actually want to put a free resource in your hand. See if I can bring this up right now. It's called the Thought Management Map. And so this is a tool that, and it should be coming up on the screen, or it might be white for a second. This is a tool in my paid program, the Thought Management Map. Is going to help you manage your mind like a boss, right? So it is a literal map, right? Showing you exactly what to do when you think the thought and where to go to next. Okay, so you're probably seeing it up there on your screen now. And you can get your hands on this thought management map, which will be a very powerful tool for you in your life. And so all you have to do is you just have to comment map below, and we'll send you this. So you're going to get the map, and then there are worksheets to go with every step. Writing is a very powerful tool concerning your thoughts. It's really how you take thoughts captive. You can't work with the thoughts when they're in your brain. You have to get them out. And so this thought management map is going to give you the tools that you need to manage your mind like a boss. If you want it, all you have to do is comment the word map below, and I'd love to get it into your hands. You are loved. You are needed. And I know you hear that all the time, but we do need you in the world, right? And if you quit, we're going to still love you, right? Because here's the thing. God loves us, and it's not based upon our performance. It's not based on our performance. He's going to love you whether you do, whether you don't. Okay, but we need you in the world. And so we pray you are empowered to become the boss of your brain. All right, make that decision from this empowering place. We'll see you in the next episode. Be blessed. All right.